Hey, good morning. It's John. I'm playing on Sunday morning around 7:45, so real late in the Immaculate grid cycle for Saturday's grid. Had a busy day yesterday, so just didn't get around to it. But playing now. Let's see, got a little window here. Let's see how I do. It's been so long I don't even know how I did on Friday, but looks like I did okay. Got 30. That's right. I'd not come up with a better answer than A-Rod for 30 stolen bases, and that was almost half my score. Pound and refresh. Let's get into it. Grid number 230 got born outside the United States in DC, which, as we discussed, does include the United States territory of Puerto Rico. Um, and then 300 career home runs, and then 40 WAR for a career. So 40 WAR is an interesting one because like that's 60-ish is roughly where you would put a Hall of Fame caliber player, basically. That's not an exact science. It's not like, you get to 60 WAR and you're in. Um, for reference, I think it's about where Harmon Killebrew is. Um, 40 WAR is a lot, and there are people like way above, like Bobby Grich and Lou Whitaker are both north of 70, and they're not yet in. I hope they are someday. Compared to you'll have exceptions. I mean, I think Kirby Puckett, because he retired a little earlier, was in the 50s. Jim Rice was all the way down in the 40s. I think same with Jack Morris. Then you get other, yeah, like Jack Morris and other veteran committee picks like Harold Baines would be lower than that. But typically you're looking at about 60 WAR to get in the Hall of Fame. So this is like still to get to 40, you can't be a slouch. I mean, that would be 10-ish years of very good borderline all-star play would get you to 40 WAR. So you have to be showing up every day and doing a pretty good job. So we can try to think of some people who fit that bill. I certainly don't think like I don't look at a player and think of his WAR necessarily. Like I know, a guy like Barry Bonds is north of 150 or something like that, but um I'm not exactly sure, for example, what Jose Altuve's career WAR is at the moment. Probably about 40, but doesn't matter because he's not one of these teams. Anyway, that was a long lead in. Um, let's see. Who remembers Kaz Matsui? Kazuhiro. Okay, I'm just gonna put Matsui. Kazuo. Okay, there was no R in the second part of his name. Okay. Anyway, he'll work. Actually, he takes 2%. Okay, that wasn't really that sneaky, was it? Um, let's see, 300 career home runs. Um, so I think Strawberry Book works. I'm not sure about Foster, maybe. Um, what if Sean Green works? 300 is also not a number I really think a lot about. Sean Green had 3 years of over 40, but even that, I mean, that only takes you to 120, 130 with those 3 years. Two with the Dodgers, one with the Blue Jays. Um, Piazza will certainly work for both of these and both of these. Oh, let's see. Other people with 300 career home runs. Figure Gil Hodges, um, Duke Snyder. I think that'll do it for the 50s. I don't think Campanella played long. I mean, he only played like 10 years. He didn't play long enough to get to 300. Um, and then Eddie Murray will work. Eddie Murray will work for both of these. Ooh, let's try this one down here. I'm gonna try Blue Jays legend Cecil Fielder, who had 319 career home runs, and the reason I know that number is it is the exact same as his son Prince. But Prince had two inside the park home runs, as I wrote about in my book, Baseball's Most Fun Frivolities. Anyway, Fielder started his career at the Blue Jays. 2%. All right. Um, Delgado will work here. That'd be a pick I could go with. I'm not sure on Ventura, but I don't think so. Um, Ricky Henderson had 297 career home runs, I think. Like, so he just misses. Oh, you know who will work here? Let's try Mr. Steve Finley. I think has just over 300 career home runs. He goes .4. Oh, what's a good one for the Mets? Delgado is my best thought so far. It's because he's better known with the Blue Jays, but wouldn't surprise me. I know he had almost 500 actually. He had in the 470s. But he played like 4 years with the Mets. He was on that '06 team that went to the NLCS. Um, yeah, I'm still not sure on. I gotta think Strawberry got there, but of course he missed a lot of time. So and then Foster is another one where I'm just like I think he got there. I know he had 50 and 40 homer seasons with the Reds. Um, I want to say he hit 25 and 29 or something with the big red machine, and then 52 and 40 over the next couple of years with the Reds, and then his career becomes a little fuzzy. I know once he got to the Mets, he wasn't particular. His Mets career was not particularly glamorous. Eddie Murray, of course, works. Um, does anyone else sneak in? I think Frank Thomas. I don't think OG Frank Thomas quite got there. Um, let me sit on that for a bit. Maybe I'll come back to it. Let's see. There's some good ones here. Russell Martin will work for both of these. Uh, Jose Reyes will work here, I think. Mondesi works for both of these. Raul Mondesi. Um, go Beltre here. I'm kind of assuming these guys. I mean, for all I know, maybe they were born either in a U.S. hospital or I mean, I think these guys, everyone I list, I think grew up somewhere else at least. Um, Bounce over here for a little bit. Some guys with 40 plus career WAR. So I know Jack Morris just barely makes it, and he would work for the Blue Jays. Um, here's an interesting one. Devon White. It wouldn't surprise me if Devon White got to 40 WAR. He's such a good defensive player. But I wouldn't be able to say it with any kind of certainty. Um, Morris, I'm very confident in because I've seen his page before. Um, and then like I don't know about Barfield or Lloyd Mosby, George Bell, Tony Fernandez. I just don't know where these guys are at. So let's go Morris. See how he does. Goes 1%. All right, that was a long way to get to 1%. And then can we come up with someone? I know Ventura. I saw his page and he's like really close to 60. He's like in the high 50s. He would work here. Let's try Robin Ventura. He goes 0.4. Um, for the Dodgers, Jackie Robinson had over 60 career WAR in just 10 years. Wonder how many people would shy away from Robinson because they knew how short his career was, but he did get, I mean, he averaged a borderline MVP quality season for his entire career. Um, or maybe I go with someone just less well known. I'm gonna go with actually, do I have confidence in Dazzy Vance? Makes an appearance. He's got to work. He's got to work. Thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. I'm stalling a little bit because my computer just did a weird restart. Oh, I guess I am sharing over there. 1 second, you're getting a low value production, so I'm gonna stop sharing. There I am again. Continue sharing. You're getting what you paid for. You're getting what you paid for, but we're back. That seemed easier than moving my camera. Anyway, at this point, I'm going Dazzy Vance. All right, it takes 0.2. Yay. All right, 300 career home runs. I haven't come up with anyone better than Delgado. He takes a full 6%. Well, I'll be curious to see who else I missed from that one. I think of Mondesi here and Russell Martin. He's Canadian. He takes 1%. So I take a 14. We are up over 100,000. There were many, many better options here. There were 23 options for, so that's really my biggest miss is that there are 23 options for the Mets here. I'm not going to click on the WAR category because that's just way too many people. But if we're playing here, Jeremy Burnett's my favorite player, had 315 career home runs. I should really have known that, but I did know he played for the Mets. Um, I'm just looking for people. Gary Carter, 324. Mo Vaughn played for the Mets briefly. It was not a glamorous time. Sean Green does work, and he works for all three of the teams that were listed. I forgot he had a little stint with the Mets there at the end. So he did get there. And that's right. Gil Hodges briefly played for the Mets. So he would have worked for the Dodgers or the Mets. All right, well, fun game with a brief interruption for my computer doing some sort of weird restart. Again, it's a low value production. I'm not hiring an editor. I don't have that kind of money. Um, but anyway, this was fun. I'll be back at it probably later. I'll try to get to it later today. Um, for grid number, I guess it'll be 231. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll back at it later. Peace.